Okay. Billy, tell me what's happening in your life. What's happening in this realm?
Well, the thing that I shared this morning in our study club, I've had probably one of the biggest, massive downloads yesterday and today that I've had in a long, long time. And it centers
Okay.
around the election. Okay. 4 years ago, and I'll try to do this real quickly. 4 years ago, there was no way that I could fathom that God would allow the people to take power that took power. And that rocked my faith to the core. Um, and and this is an example of how things are working for us, even when it seems like it's the most horrible thing we could imagine. Um, and that's a bit dramatic given that it was an election, but that's where I was at mentally. Like, 4 years ago, I'd never heard of coaching. I had never heard of any of this. So, but because of what happened, I started searching for answers. I made contact with a man named Scott McKay in Dallas, who was the first person I ever heard talk about in his way about human trafficking. So this thing that had just turned my world upside down was what led me into human trafficking, the fight against human trafficking. So the all of the distraught and all of that, and I was not in a good place for a long time, for a couple of months. I mean, I was not in a good place. And I'm looking back now, and this just came to me really yesterday, that if that had not happened like it did in 2020, I might not have, probably would have, but I might not have come across the fight against human trafficking, which is where I am today. And so what I'm saying is, here was this thing that just shattered everything I thought I believed. And this was such a horrible thing, but turned out to be one of the greatest blessings that I've ever had, because that's what put me on the path to start taking the steps that led me into that led me to Tony Robbins, that led me to talk to Cheryl about becoming a coach, and then to Lynn, and then here we are.
I mean, you're just reiterating, and I appreciate that you're reiterating how it is so important for us to recognize, what did Kanye West say? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, it's so important for us to recognize challenges and accept them as paths for growth. And that's not easy. It's not easy
Right,
because there's so much emotion involved in that.
right. And one of the things, and I don't talk about this a lot because abortion is a very personal thing, but that was one of the things that I felt so strongly about, was the whole issue of abortion, because my son did not get a chance to live because of that. So I take that, people are like, oh, it doesn't pertain to you. Yeah, it did. It took my son. And so that was one of the, I was also fighting for him
Mhm.
because I didn't get a chance to. And
Yeah.
like I say, I mean, that's a very personal thing to me. I'm not preaching to anybody about how they should or shouldn't think or feel or anything like that. But that was one of the things, and that was one of the that was one of the primary things I focused on at that point in time, was because of the experience that I had 30 years ago.
Mhm.
So
Understand. I understand. And I appreciate, once again, your trust in disclosing. I understand. And again, you're just reiterating kind of the point of what we do here in Ascension Mastermind. It's all about connecting the dots and coming into awareness as to why that happened when it happened, because that was leading me to where I am today. And to
right.
accept all of the tough things, to accept all of them, because they're not easy. I look, I'm no different than you guys. I have my own journey, and trust me when I tell you, I've had horrific experiences to go through. Um, as we each do. But the acceptance is the first step of it, because only when we can accept that difficulty will it allow us to move to the next door to open it. That
Mhm.
eventually leads us to soul purpose, eventually. And
Mhm.
you're absolutely right. I mean, I will not politics, but
Right.
our country is in a really interesting place right now. And let me tell you,
It
just
is.
spirit orchestrates, we choose everything that will happen in our life. The same thing for the globe, the same thing for the planet. Everything has been predestined. We're just part of it. We're here for the ride. We chose to be here.
Right.
However, what we can do, my tagline used to be for my business, change individually, heal globally.
Mm. I like
It's still a tagline that I believe in. And that was before I, rebranded or whatever you guys call whatever we do. I don't know. But I still believe in that. Every single change that you make in that awareness, you're actually affecting globally. So enough of the preaching today. I will not continue that. Mal's, what's happening since I've seen you last?
Um, well, actually lots is about to happen. I finally got a spot, and so I'm going on Friday to a
Okay.
2 month stay for mental health,
Okay.
anxiety, mood, anxiety, addiction, integrated something is the program. I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just kind of getting my like tying up ends and stuff like that and figuring out what to do. But last night my daughter came over and we made her Taylor Swift outfit for the concert. And she was really happy. And that is, I haven't seen her since like the end of August, Labor Day weekend. So that was really, it was good. And she's very supportive. She just turned 15. So it's very hard on her, but yeah, it's good.
So wow, okay.
So I'm not going to be here for the next chunk.
Okay.
I talked to Dylan and I hope that if you guys you're continuing this, right? Ish.
To be determined.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah.
Lynn and I are still trying to iron out things to see if that is a yes or no. We're really still working on it. But we'll have an
Okay.
answer by the next 2 weeks, literally.
Okay. And I just don't have my phone for the first little bit. I think it's 72 hours and then they give us back
Okay.
phones and
Okay.
so and she's going to keep me in the group so I'll be able to stay posted on what's going on and stuff. But I don't know if Tuesday at 10:30 I will be able to jump on. I
But
might be able to.
you can watch recordings though, no matter what.
I think so. I think I can, yeah, I think I can just use my phone like,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so I could do that in the evening or
Okay.
whatever. So I have no idea. Never done this before. And I have some friends who have, but yeah.
So I commend you for taking
Thank you.
this step. This is a huge step.
Huge.
And it takes every ounce of strength you've got to do this. And so
Yeah.
that strength's coming out. And I'm sure everyone here wants nothing but the best for you. I commend you for stepping into those challenges that were so hard to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have to say that this and the coaching bit, because I've had to dig deep, like I feel like I have a head start then of people that are just going to this program to dig deep.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're going to do. And if I didn't have all of this, I think I would be really, but I feel pretty safe going into it. I feel like I'm going to be okay.
Great. You know what? You are going to be okay. And
Yeah.
I'm using my psychic skill here a little bit. You are going to be okay. And I think you're actually going to be surprised of who and what you will be when you're leaving this program.
Yeah.
Right.
The
You've
other
done a
thing
lot
is,
of work. You're right.
yeah, it is a lot of work. And I have a lot of work to do right from a kid, right from like, I think when I was 4, my mom had my brother and they took a year off traveling and we went to Europe and then we did like 6 months stay in Egypt. I think I was telling you this, but I think that whole bit kind of was in that time when I was understanding the world and I was confused. And I wasn't sure of a couple of things. Anyways, I caught up with an old friend. Well, eight years ago, we met at the holistic nutrition school that we did. He was my table partner and he's very into health and spirituality and sent me a video of Caroline May.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About just what you said about choice.
Yeah.
We all have choices. And so we're going to go meet up today for a hike and lunch. And yeah, haven't seen him in a long time. And he's very spiritual.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just a simple question. Can all of you swim?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So why is you're probably going, where's she going with that one? Okay. Well, here's where I'm going with that one. You know what swimmies are, right? So they didn't have that when I was a kid. But swimmies, to me, this process on this journey is like learning how to swim. Here's the analogy. You put the kid in the water, right? You are their support system at first. Then you transition them to the swimmies. And you take the swimmies off. And then they finally could do it on their own. So that's what this is all about. Ascension Mastermind is that. I've been holding you guys, not I, both of us have been holding you guys. Now you had the swimmies on, okay? Ready to take those swimmies off. You're at that point, and that's what that activation and the meditation is going to help you do today.
Oh, cool.
So, I know, receive knowing, as well as I know in my own emotional components that each and every one of you has progressed tremendously on this journey so far and will continue to do so if you stay in your lane and stay focused and handle the external sources appropriately and not let the external emotion and entities affect you, like a school district, like a political situation, like treatment. Okay. You guys are literally on a track for more success. There is, once you've made it to this point, there is no turning back. You could stay exactly where you are and not move forward, but there's no turning back on a spiritual journey. There is none, ever. You make the choice, you make the decision. And I'm telling you, each and every one of you is going to move forward and do amazing things. Okay. Sanella, what's happening?
Quite a bit. So I'm sitting here, I'm actually sweating a little because I'm getting so much information. And so I'm going to share just a little bit if you guys don't mind.
Please.
It kind of, I mean, it goes side in synchronicity with what everybody's been sharing for the past, few weeks, if not more. As we all know, we're on this journey. We're kind of being pushed to digging into who we are, facing our shadows and stuff like that. So, what we're experiencing now here in this country is not just this country, it's in every country in the world in different ways, whatever it pertains to. It's just a lot of chaotic energy, a lot of strong energy that's moving through this planet. But that can also be alchemized into light and positivity. So right now we have such assistance coming from we have tremendous intradimensional assistance, but they are not interfering because of our free will. We have to choose to want to receive the help so that we can be light workers and assist. If it's just for ourselves, if it's for our family, if it's on a global scale, whatever the case might be, they are here to assist and they're ready, but we have to choose that.
So isn't a major piece of that choice, even though it's predestined, just because things are predestined, that whole journey is predestined, doesn't mean you're going to make the choice. It's like a movie that has several endings. Doesn't mean
Yeah,
you actually make the choice. And isn't making that choice truly up to us in the moment, and not making the choice is literally what creates further stagnation?
yeah, or movement.
Okay.
Yeah, so what they're saying is that, when it comes to, like Becky, it's not strange you're going through such tough challenges right now. Malika, you choosing to dig into, you're on Billy, you on your end, I am on my end. I'm sure everyone has things.
Nah, everything's fine
And
for me. No problem.
exactly. And this, I choose to look at, the muck that I'm going through and the things that, the universe is throwing me back into, like, hey, you're trying to bypass this. Well, no, we're gonna shove your face down into the muck. I see it as a gift and choose not to look at it as, oh my God, this is so hard. This is such a challenge. How am I going to do it? I accept it. And the more I accept and I'm open to and I appreciate it, the more assistance I get, the more I move through it. And that's kind of what they're saying too, is that everything that's hitting us left and right, whether it's personal, whether it's the news, whether it's, whatever the case might be, if we choose to remain stuck in that, it's going to amplify, and that pressure is going to wrap around us more and more and more because the energies are so intense right now. But if we choose to not fall for it, as I always say, don't fall for it. It's just distractions. And if we choose to, again, help me, I'm open, assist me, please, they will come in and they will help us move forward. It's not going to be easy, but we
It's
have
like
such tremendous
have
support.
to, it's like, imagine this, they're standing behind a fence, right?
Yeah.
There's a
Mhm.
barrier there. I mean, I
Mhm.
literally see them. That's how they show themselves to me. They stand behind the fence and they telepathically let me know, I can't come in. You have to do what you have to do for me to intervene. And once I take that next step, they're in and they're helping me.
Yeah, and it's
We have
tremendous love and support. Tremendous.
we have to do what we have to do.
Mhm.
And we're actually at the point where, hang on a second, Billy. Yep. We're actually at the point where they're ramping up the challenges. So
Yeah,
everything you're feeling, each one that you're telling me
yeah,
about what's going on in your life, it is happening because you're not being tested. I hate using that word, but they're like, okay, we know you can do this. Don't stop. Keep going. Push forward. Billy, yes, go ahead.
Snell just used one word that I think it's come up many, many times over the last few days, and I think it applies to a lot of people, but maybe especially to us right now, and that is distraction.
Mhm.
There is a lot of energy behind distraction,
Yes.
from many, many, many angles and for many reasons. They're not all about getting us off our path, but they can if we
Yes.
let the distraction in. So to use your words, we've got to stay focused, and we've got to stay focused on our purpose, because if we don't, we can get caught up in that distraction, and then we're in a mess.
Yeah, and use that
Distraction's huge.
as signs when things start to bombard us. It's okay. Look at it as, okay, I'm growing, and I am doing something important. My light is becoming brighter. Just
Yep.
expect that the challenges are going to get a bit bigger with that.
Sure.
Because it's, again, we are being tested, but it's also like, hey, she's got something good going on here. We don't want that to happen. So they are kind of like energetic bullies. So I wrote down right before too, what they were saying is that it's time for humans to find their way through their hearts. It's time for us to make a choice. We have to choose by listening and going within. That's just the time. And it's so important right now. It's so important because the distractions are tremendous. They will get us emotionally through our families, through our children, through work, through everything. I mean, money, all of our fears, they're pumping. Just don't fall for it. It's just distractions.
To be more explanatory than that. So here's what's going on. You know that we all have our own journeys. The earth has its own journey, right? We've talked about this. There's a huge imbalance. And I'm going to use the words, nobody likes it, darker, negative, lower vibration. Okay, it's like this right now, like this. And here's the lower vibration. And so what's happening is the lower vibration entity energy feeds off our fears and our inability to accept challenge as something positive. And look at the state of the planet, every country. She's right. Sinella's right. So here's what we have to do individually. You have to be aware of that. And what she says, make a choice in your heart, what that translates into, the choices you're going to make are from your love of self first. I can take on that district and take care of my daughter. I can go to that place and take those couple of months off and heal myself so that I can heal others. I will continue dealing with everything that's coming at me politically and still create what I need to create, et cetera, et cetera. The choice from the heart is choice of love of self first. And that does this to that imbalance. Those are all distractions. Those are what those distractions are. But they're feeding off of when you go, oh no, this is too hard. I can't do this. Oh, no, I'm kind of done, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what that's all about. And it's going to get stronger because they're fighting to take over our planet, literally. I'm not going to go into I'm not going to go into why. Okay. It's not necessary. Just leave it at that for now. And trust me, just trust me. Each and every one of you has a huge role here. You might think, what am I in all the billions of people in the world? Each soul can literally make a difference. Change individually, heal globally. It does have a tremendous impact, which is why that was my tagline. Okay. Okay, they tell me to just, and I think I've shared this before, but they tell me to do it really, really quickly. So a while ago, I was diagnosed with a terminal disease. Literally. I was told, you're going to die. I'm not kidding. That was what I was told. I said, this is years back. I said, no, I just don't accept that. No, I don't. That's how my healing CD was made. To make a very long story short, my choice to say, no, I am not ready to die now, had already been built in as one of the choices I can make. Did I know that? No, not in consciousness. I could have taken another choice and just said, oh, wow, okay, I'm going to die. I did not.
Yep.
I'm giving this example because I'm telling you that's how strong it is to make those choices. Well, I'm still here, and that CD has helped many people heal. Okay, but I made the choice. I said, no, I don't accept that. This is a challenge. I'm going to deal with it. That's how strong it is. And Spirit wants me to remind you of that. I could not do for you what I'm doing today had I not made that choice. You cannot do what you're going to do for everyone else that you're going to do it for if you don't make the choices today. And I'm going to tell you this program, everything that it's done for you up until now, there is dual purpose. It's your individual purpose in moving through all of your challenges and learning and ascending. And it has groomed you to be leaders, to lead your own Ascension MasterMind groups, literally. And that's something I'm going to say, and I can't say any more about where we're moving forward after this because we're still working on the steps. So you need to hear that. Each one of you was put in this group for a reason. It's not over when it's over. It's just beginning for you. Okay, let's do some meditation, shall we? Oh, by the way, I want to let you guys know just real quickly, and this is not solicitous, and I know you know that. So I have for years now done a once a month Friday night meditation, an in-person meditation. I'm switching to Zoom. You'll be experiencing a meditation today with me for a few minutes, but I think November 18th is the next one I'm going to be doing on Zoom. It's a Friday night. If you can join, I highly recommend you join. Sinella, why should they come to meditation?
I can say this, when I first kind of, met Sandy, I started going to her meditations. And for me, it was such a place where I felt free personally in, who I am, and because of Sandy's approach and their, everything that she's connecting to, but also is not afraid to address. So, and I think that the community that's built up there too, I think everyone probably feels the same. And, recognizing that all of our journeys are so different, but also so, we have so much in common. I don't know. It's just a great, great community. And, I mean, yeah, what can I say? It's been, it catapulted my growth for sure.
You said that word, and that's the word that was in my mind. Literally, I was going to say it will. I promise you, it will catapult your growth. So that's enough said. And again, I'm not solicited. You guys know that. But I'm just. I promise you, it'll push you even further. Okay, so let's go into meditation. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, while we're doing meditation, I'm hoping there's no. I'm outside. There's no external noise. Usually, this is when the garbage comes to pick up. Almost without fail. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to go into the meditation. While we're in the meditation, my suggestion is that you turn your cameras off. And here's why. Meditation is actually, this meditation is, remember I said we're going to work with the pineal gland. All I know is Spirit did not tell me who's coming in to assist. They just told me that's what we're doing. And because the meditation is going to be such a personal experience, are all of you where you're in a space where you're not going to be, well, I know Billy, you're at the store, I know that, but for a few minutes, maybe not distracted. Is that possible?
I'm gonna lock the door and put the clothesline on.
Just a few minutes, okay.
No problem. I'll do it now.
Everybody else, you're okay? Everybody else? Now, Becky?
So far, so good. Brinley might wake up, but so far,
Okay.
good.
Okay, so we'll start as soon as Billy does that. Yeah, so I suggest just shutting the cameras off and get yourself in a very comfortable position. Okay, they're already, so yeah, they're already starting to come through. Wow. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna shut my camera. Okay, great. Okay, we're all going to start this meditation by taking 4 breaths. But before you do, here is what needs to happen. With each breath, as you breathe in, you're going to breathe in a helix of white, gold, and silver light. That helix is going to represent a DNA strand. We're bringing in 14 strands of DNA. As you breathe in, you're going to imagine that going through the crown and all the way down through each chakra, ending up in the spine. And as you exhale, you're going to breathe out from the spine all the way back up to the crown. The helix is going to come back up again, but what's coming up now is everything that has created stagnation for you in all of your cells, all of the lower vibration that is not yours, that you have absorbed and allowed into your energy field that truly belongs to others. Begin now with the 4 breaths, very deep, very solid. The space that each one of you is in has changed. The ground beneath you is starting to open up. And what's happening is what's rising from the ground. It's actually coming directly from the core of the planet. Is a solid white light that's funneling upwards, narrow, beginning at the core and funneling upwards and getting wider and more wide and more wide to the point where it's encompassing your whole body. And you shall be encased in this white light during the meditation. Archangel Shamuel has stepped in. Shamuel is allowing himself to go into fractals so that he is standing behind each one of you simultaneously. And he's placing his hands, palms upward, underneath, cradling at the back of your neck, holding your brainstem and cradling through your hair, holding your cranium. And from his heart chakra, through the opening in his palms, the element of the vibration of his love, the highest level of love, is being sent into the hypothalamus, slowly as if it's liquid being poured down to the throat, to the thyroid and the parathyroid. And now being sent upward to pituitary and pineal gland. You may feel a slight tingling. You may see a change in color around you, that the white light may be changing color. Take a moment and take a very deep breath. Breathe in and hold it. And as you hold that breath, say to yourself and to Shamuel, I allow and accept this change in my energy. And then exhale. Shamuel shall continue to serve you and offer energy. Saint Germain steps in and is allowing himself to divide into fractals so that he stands before each one of you simultaneously and is standing facing you face to face. And he is here to assist Shamuel in this process. Saint Germain spreads his arms so they are fully extended all the way out at his sides, so that his body is appearing like a cross. He starts to bring his arms in towards you so that he can actually surround you and hug you, and you are within his arms. So that he is standing directly against your body. His heart chakra, whether you're seated or standing, is now connected directly as your chests are pressing against one another. His heart chakra opens and he allows you to see the violet flame in his chamber. He shows you the split chambers where there is the blue flame and the pink flame. And from his heart chambers to yours, he opens your chest cavity. He opens your heart to the two chambers and sends from the blue and the pink directly into your chambers. There is an exchange of light going from his heart chambers to yours. I'm asked to be silent. You allow this process to finish. As Jermaine and Shamuel continue to assist. The ground that is open and continues to be open underneath you. The elementals have come to join us. The nymphs and the druids have been called upon. And they are surrounding each one of you, circling around your feet. And as they are continuing to do a dance around your feet, that white light is starting to swirl, again like a tornado, coming up and surrounding your body, very narrow from the feet and coming all the way up for each one of you simultaneously. Like a tornado swirling around you, swirling around you. And this light is going to come all the way up above your body and above your crown chakra. And it's going to stop above your crown chakra and become a solid circle. And as it does, your crown is going to open. And the white light is going to come in. Go into the pituitary, into pineal gland, into the hypothalamus, into the thyroid and the parathyroid, and will be locked within. So as it becomes locked within, each one of you shall have the ability and the capability to make the correct choice in all that is presented to you as that we offer. For it is that you have destined on your journey. Each choice that you make, you will be allowed to remember what it is that you are predestined and which of those choices that you are predestined is what shall offer you continued ascension. For it is I that speaks to you. I speak from the heart. It is I that comes to you often to guide you. It is you who does not allow to listen. It is you who does not choose to honor the soul with complete love of self. I ask you now to go into that energy and know that love of self in its completeness is what is necessary that you call to complete each step along this journey that you have chosen to serve. As you choose to serve others, for it is what you have predestined, we shall choose to serve you. But we can only do so in completeness of love. The white light that has been swirling around you, the nymphs and the fairies and the druids, the fairies have actually joined, are now stepping back. Jermaine bows at your feet. He has removed his arms from you. He bows at your feet. And he places a kiss on your forehead. Shamuel steps back and tilts his head downward in honor of your soul. And now that you're being asked upon this completion to take 4 breaths as you did, with each breath again, you will have the same process. So breathe in the white, gold, and silver helix. And as you exhale, watch and ensure that all is removed that no longer serves. Upon the termination of your fourth breath, you're to come back into time-space reality. Begin now. Okay. Anybody want to have any comment or want to share anything they experienced? Billy, you can, if you want to open your store back again, we'll wait for you.
Okay.
Anybody have any body sensations? Energy change? Literal experience?
I felt some tingling, but the main thing that I noticed during it, was I felt like the white light that was like surrounding us. The visual I kept seeing was all of us like in a tornado of a
Yes.
light around
Yes.
us, and I felt all four of us or five of us were in it, and
Yes.
when we were all doing the work together, it became stronger and like more intense, which I felt like just kind of confirmed what you said before, that we were all brought to this mastermind at this particular moment for a reason, which was like we're each other's strength. That's just what I consistently kept seeing was all of us chilling in those tornadoes, strengthening one another.
One of the things I do with my Friday night meditation, so there's always an explanation first. I didn't do it here today. Well, actually, there was an explanation of what was supposed to happen. Then there's meditation, and then I do this part where everyone in the room is given the opportunity to share. I do that because people sometimes sit there and their minds are going, oh, this must be crazy. I couldn't have felt what I felt. But by sharing, everyone realizes that, yeah, this did happen. So, Becky, what you just described was not verbalized because there's a lot that goes on in the meditation that's not the verbal cue. Yes, that white light at some point then was altered and encompassed all of you together just before it was brought into the crown. And all of you were in that white light. And then the druids, they were brought up to then also circle around each one of you individually, but then you as a group. And yes, similar to what you just shared, there's purpose in connecting all of you that way energetically, because yes, your strength now comes from the energetic bond that has been created in this group is going to be a huge, like a kryptonite for all of you, literally. You might not feel on the exterior or the extremity that type of connection or relationship, and that's okay because it's still building. And for some of you, emotionality is part of your challenge in connection. But what you felt literally happened in that meditation. So kudos to you. That's why I have you guys talk. I want to know anything that you experienced. So yeah, you're right on target with that, Becky. Absolutely. And it's going to be a source of for strength for when you are each one of you are trying to make your own decisions and you're lost in distraction or lack of self-love and confidence, pull from the strength that the group has together, that self-love of the group itself. Okay. And I know we're going to go over a few minutes. I hope that's okay, because this is really kind of important. Anybody else? Mal, Billy, Sanella, anything?
Couple of things that came up. Number one, I kept saying, and not necessarily at the same time as you were describing things, but like I saw many, almost like auras, like different colors, white, purple, pink, yellow, orange, almost like fire, but also like around. But at one point also, it was like I was being lifted up, you know, with my arms out and just real slowly turning and just almost like levitated. That's probably the best way to describe it. It's like I was levitated. And then, and I was just staying within that light, like there. And it was just like a free floating. Not sure exactly what was happening, but I saw myself being lifted up like that. And then gradually came back down. And then when I did, it was just a very calm.
So here's what happens. So if you recall the piece in the meditation where Jermaine comes in and he spreads his arms,
Mm-hmm.
kind of hugs and okay, chest to chest. So when that was happening, Jermaine actually took each one of you, had you spread your arms as well, like the symbol of the cross.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, that's when there was that energy exchange, and each one of you were vibrating in your own way in the cloud of white. So each one of you were kind of lifted, yes. But each one of you and actually Sanella were turning.
Mm-hmm.
Bodies were turning.
Mhm.
Almost like in an energy volcano. Becky and Mal's, you were more like head pulled back and arms pulled back energetically. Okay. Again, that was being done to encompass you in that energy. And Sanella, you you kind of fractaled into two. You were in two different places. I don't know if you realize that. You were in that white energy, and then they also took you out and they had you on the exterior, and you were offering the white energy.
Yeah, I feel like I was in several different places for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A mouse, anything to share?
Just I did feel the energy of, like, I felt the power of everybody being doing the same thing together. I do find that that's really a really stronger feeling than me just sitting there by myself.
Okay. So here's your homework. Yes, that meditation, there was a complete activation. Oh, and by the way, so there was some trance channeling that went on. So when in the meditation, when you heard, if you were to see me, I would look different visually as well. When you heard the voice change, so that was Archangel Michael, who came in and spoke through me. That's what that was. He was actually on the periphery of all of this and kind of like supervising my word, not theirs. So here's the homework. You will have this on a recording, so yes, you can access the meditation. But
Good.
my suggestion is, I don't know how quickly they put it on recording, I don't know, but to do it at least 3 days, the last 3 days before we meet again on next Tuesday. So that would be what, Sunday, Monday, no, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, if you can. Those 3 days, not the beginning of the week. But here's what you should be doing for the 7 days. Obviously your own meditation, which at this point, I hope I don't have to ask if everybody's meditating every day. Don't make me do it. In addition to that, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to use the words deep dive. I know that those were used today several times. Spirit's asking you to go in, when you go into your own meditation, to sit and ask your guides, give them the permission, ask them to come in. And let them know that you finally made, and I'm saying this for you, that you finally made the full commitment to serve. Now, I know you're already serving, but this is being said this way for a reason. And you want to ask them, and then just kind of go right into the meditation, for them to allow you now, in order to serve in the highest good, to allow you now to complete what is necessary do what is necessary for you to complete the remainder of the pineal gland activation. To do what is necessary for you to complete the remainder of the pineal gland or pineal gland, however you want to say it, activation. To bring it into your awareness.
Then Sandy, I have to tell you, it's so funny that we're doing this, because literally for the last week, and I've never studied it before, but like all day, every day for the last week, I have been listening to tapes on pineal activation and, clearing the blockages and clearing the, like that. And also the two messages that have been so strong, guard your peace. And the other is like, it's a phrase, but it's called trumpet of love.
That's Michael. Michael blows a trumpet. I'm sorry, Shamuel blows a trumpet of love, literally. So there's no synchronicity, you know that. Just a caution though, Billy, and for everybody, be really careful with what you listen to on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Be really careful. A lot of this stuff is, I'm going to say it. A lot of this stuff is created by lower vibration to lead you in a bad direction. Okay, so be really careful, you guys, when you do all the YouTube stuff. And Sinella, right, back me up on this. I mean,
Google
wow.
Schmoogle.
That's why, yeah, I mean, I'll never tell you to Google anything. I'm like, oh, so careful. I appreciate that each one of you want to advance. Absolutely. I got to tell you though, here's your advancing. And that's the only way. You can trust me. I'm clear. Trust me when I do something. Should you go to other people? Absolutely. You can go to other people. You can do things. But first, before you do that, when this is clear, you'll know, does that resonate? Is that in truth? And you need to ask the other side before you sign up for a class, or before you, even if it's to continue this, before you sign up for a class, before you do anything, before you watch a YouTube or you Google, is it in truth? And does it resonate with my truth where I am right now on my journey? Yeah, Billy, you got that?
No, I was just holding my pen. Sorry.
Can I just
So
share something?
Yeah.
So during my experience, real quick, because I feel like this pertains to maybe everyone in the group, but maybe not, but they wanted me to share, is that I had, some of us had a crystal replaced in our brains, kind of like
in meditation today. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that can, for me, they were saying that, and this again might pertain to some of you guys also, is that as that integrates kind of like with our system, we might be feeling different. We might affect our vision, might affect our hearing, might affect our senses. Like all of a sudden we might be, start to smell something really strong, or like, oh my God, I've never been able to smell roses like this before, or and they're asking to, if you have sensations of like, oh, I feel this is interesting, this is, just stay with that for a moment and be present in that particular moment, and just ask them, or it's what they're saying is that just kind of stop for a second, let that integrate with your human mind, be aware of it, because that is going to speed up the integration process. And you may also become more aware of certain abilities that might be heightened and might be strengthened because of this.
Yes, that was done. And yes, I'm glad you said it because I was not allowed to say it. So you open the door, I can. So
Sorry.
very quickly, I was hoping, very quickly. So here's what happens in this progression. Okay. It's almost like superhuman. You become superhero, literally. Here's what happens. It happens for everybody on this journey when they get to this point. Once the pineal is activated, you move into what you guys call sixth sense. So olfactory, auditory, it's almost like you're Superman. Everything is hypersensitive, including sensitivity to noise, almost like autistic population. Okay. And I mean that in a positive way. You jump in terms of your abilities, olfactory, auditory, gustatory, everything. But remember, because you're not used to that. And I remember when it first started for me, I'm like, what is going on? I was like, so you have to allow it, and ask them to help let it integrate more slowly. Don't dismiss it. What you said is really important. Don't dismiss it, validate it. You're not imagining it. It's actually going to happen. And when it happens, thank you. Help me integrate more slowly the way my body can handle it. Food sensitivities also. You got that, guys? This is real. It's real. Trust me.
And
It
I'm
was all,
really wanting to ask what type of crystal. I don't know why I want to know that, but it's like
it's not
because
a crystal the way you understand. No, it's not a crystal the way like we would say, oh, that's an amethyst. No, it's literally like almost like a microchip.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so it's not, it is a crystal, but it's a combination of plutonium, titanium. I'm not sure what else is in. Oh, I see diamond essence in there. I don't know what else is in there. So it's almost like a computer chip, literally. So they rewired your brain in that meditation. And this is what I do, guys. And this is what you'll be doing, believe it or not. As far-fetched as that sounds right now, Becky, yeah.
So before Snella was speaking, I saw something that was kind of like clarity of something from the meditation for me, which was like towards the end of like the kiss on the forehead, and it felt like a parental love kind of a feeling of um like you're on this journey, but I'm here for you when you're ready kind of thing. And what I saw as the vision is you're familiar with this. Because of Brinley. So I'm I'm not emotional. What I saw with that is like they're like in my shoes of like how I'm familiar with like the emotions she's going through and the behavior stuff. And when I recognize it and just staying peaceful and like holding the space for her and watching that transformation, like now it's my turn, but in that place. And they are that parental guidance. So like walk me through it. I don't know if that's a good comparison or not, but that's what I see is like you understand what's going on, and now this is your experience.
That makes complete sense. And I'm glad you shared that. And here's why. So they literally, I'm not bringing up religion, but we are their children. We literally are. And in as much as they treat us as if it is parental, because let me rephrase that. I'm being told to rephrase it. It's the essence of love. And that love for us, the way we translate it, is familiar to being they are parental towards us. That's what it is. That love that they offer us, you are familiar with because it's where you came from. It's the only thing that's known on the other side. And so for you in particular, Becky, what you're saying is they're trying to tell you you're familiar with this because this is what you offer her. And you'll understand more so now that you're going through your journey, you'll understand via her journey. That's what they're trying to say to you. And so the kiss on the forehead, they literally was a kiss because they're so, there's no words to describe this. They're so exuberant with love for you every step you take. They're so joyed. because it's like, yes, 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 they're finally doing it. That's what this is all about. Yeah. And I understood what you were saying. I literally understood it. And they're telling me to be careful with my words, how I'm translating. Did that make sense, what I just said?
Yeah, another thing that just came to mind too was like for Brinley, I'm big on holding the vision of like where she's going. Like creating goals for her and believing that she can work through these certain things and just always staying present in that goal through every step. And that was the other thing that came to my mind is that's what they're doing for us like during this process. Is just like I'm very familiar. The takeaway was that I'm just very familiar with this journey and that like I'll be able to move through it faster with that
Mhm,
awareness.
mhm. Yeah. For those of you that are parents, right? So it is a little bit more difficult only in the sense that, of course, you want the best for your child always, but it's very difficult to maintain the balance and understand that's their journey. I can hold a vision that they have attain a goal, but to know that I have to understand in holding that vision that there's always the possibility that's not a predestiny for them. And that's a really difficult balance to have. Very difficult. So just keep that in mind as well. Again, I think they're referencing that it's not just for you, it's for everybody, but I understand what they're trying to say to you. Absolutely. Sanella, that's for you too. That's for you too. Okay, so I'm sorry. I know I kept you guys longer. I appreciate you staying with me. I know everybody's got a busy life and things to do. So next 2 weeks, it's the Dylan and Sandy show. Remember, guys, what you do in between the time, the week, is essential to jumping forward. So please do the homework, listen to the meditation. Again, they want you to do it the last 3 days, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's what they want you to do. Just listen to it. That's all you have to do. Listen to the segment that was the meditation on the recording. So I'm glad, Becky, you're so good at that, reminding me. Can you record, please? Any final questions before I let you go?
If I remember right, the recording is posted on Friday.
Oh, okay. So just in time. Okay. And if you need to bug Dylan about that, make her do it faster. That's okay. I'm okay. Tell her you can say I said to do it. Mal's. So am I understanding correctly? We may not see you after today.
Yeah.
Is that so? Listen, I wish nothing for the best for you. I truly do. I know you'll be back, and I know I mean this deeply from my heart. I know there will be much success for you on so many levels as a result of the choice that you made to do this. I'm sure everybody here is speaking for everybody. We send you with love. Okay.
Thank you.
And
I couldn't have done it without the group. Like Billy knows.
you know what? Remember that, because when you're where you are, what you guys described, that what Becky talked about, how you're all together, quite honestly, wherever you are, all you have to do is in your mind go into that image, each one of you. When you feel like you need an extra burst of strength, go into that image that Becky shared and describe where you're all together, because it will help you, because it's energetic. And so you are now permanently linked, all of you, whether you choose to stay in that link or not, it is there and you can be there. So for you, I guess what I'm saying is everybody's really with you with this. And I know I'll see you again no matter what. I know that. So again, wish you lots of love. And we know that you're going to move through all of this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Okay.
I'll see you
Bye.
guys next week. And hopefully, Mal, I'll see you real soon. I know that.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye now.